Simon Pagenaud, we now know, will not run for the pole at the Indianapolis 500.
Yep, that is indeed correct. But he can race from there, and look at who is about to take the track for his first Indy 500 qualifying run ever.
And let's face it, you and I have more friends and family watching this feed because of that guy right there, Fernando Alonso, two-time Formula One world champion, had the track to himself on Wednesday, May 3rd. It was streamed on YouTube. Over 2 million people watched him turn laps by his lonesome at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Can you begin to describe what's going through his mind right now?
Well, right now, I think the reason why he is such a great driver is that right now he's tuned all that out. All he cares about right now is, where are my weight jackers? Where are my bars? How is my opening lap going to be? And you actually heard him lift a little bit on his outlap. Now he's working on the engine mapping here, trying to figure out exactly what fuel trim do I want to be in. And yeah, it's going to be a good warm-up lap here for Fernando Alonso.
Fourth fastest time in practice this week, 231.827 miles per hour. First time he has been at this facility in 10 years. The last year the USGP competed here was June of 2007. Of course, we talked about the McLaren relationship dating back to the 70s here at the Indianapolis 500. Of course, it helps that he can work the Honda bridge, so to speak, between Formula One and the IndyCar series as well.
And just as Jan Beek has mentioned earlier, he's running no winglets on the rear of that car whatsoever. And if you paid attention to his hands in the middle of the corner, using way less steering input compared to that of Graham Rahal. So his car definitely on the free side, and Fernando Alonso not afraid to roll the dice. And oh, he runs high off too.
The man that has been brought up in conversation, what Fernando is doing here, Mansell Mania, Nigel Mansell, the defending world champion in 1992, came to run the full season for Newman Haas Racing in 1993, including the Indy 500. This is the only race that Fernando will run this season here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and in the IndyCar Series. He hasn't taken a step wrong yet, whether it's been in the car or just with fans in the paddock. And his first lap, outstanding, 230.337 miles per hour. Could he have a run at the pole in him for tomorrow?
I think he can. This is incredible. I mean, let's see what he can do here. Currently on track to running second here. His car just looks perfect through the middle of the corner. You see him, he puts in the steering input, but then it just frees up, and look at how he's able to open up his hands and free that car up. Beautifully set up car here, and oh, this is wild.
If you harken back to the early 90s with Nigel Mansell, go back to the 60s, Graham Hill, Jimmy Clark running here when the Indianapolis 500 was part of the Drivers' World Championship. Second lap a little bit slower, but still awfully good, 230.260, and again, you want to be inside that fast nine. Being fastest today is great. It's all about being fastest tomorrow and then fastest a week from then next Sunday. But clearly inside of that top nine, it looks like Fernando might be one of the last drivers to take the track tomorrow afternoon.
He's looking so good here, and the proof is really in how low he's able to get in the middle of the corners. He really trusts that the car is going to rotate in the middle of the corner without snapping around on him. And this is looking so good as he's coming up on completing his third lap here, onto his final lap. What does this rate? 229.845, so about a 4/10 of a mile an hour drop off there. So now dropping down to fourth. So now he's really got to frantically work on his weight jacker and his bars here to get the car back towards him. Oh! So they have clearly opted for a very low downforce setting on Fernando Alonso's car, and that's why you see in him have the drop off here.
So for those of you that are watching this live from anywhere around the world, the time that you're watching this right now is about the time you're going to want to watch tomorrow, because Fernando Alonso is one corner away for qualifying for the Fast Nine. His first ever race in the IndyCar Series, in an IndyCar period. Fernando Alonso will be in the Indianapolis 500. His speed today, an average of 230.034, third quickest, expecting to be racing in that final hour tomorrow. A chance to potentially start his first Indy 500 from the pole. Remarkable for Fernando Alonso. 18 more drivers left to go. The drama's at a high level this opening day of qualifying at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you could have seen the reactions from Ollie Webb to that truly phenomenal laps by Fernando Alonso, just skirting with the wall. And Ollie, you've got to say, since Fernando Alonso first turned up at the Speedway, he hasn't put a wheel wrong yet. And that was deeply, deeply impressive stuff by the Spanish rookie.
The rookie, yeah. No, that was really exciting to watch. Getting so low and close to the grass there in turn 3 and 4, but then so close to the wall on the outside. And as we could see, and as the guys were saying as we were watching before, opting to run a lower downforce set than everyone else. So very quick out the box, P1 in his first lap time, but then quite a big drop off as the laps go on. But still, third place, I think he'll be happy with that.
But also clearly feeling very confident in the car that he's got underneath him to be able to wind the wing level back that far. Of course, he's getting assistance from Gilles de Ferran, a former Indianapolis 500 winner as well. And de Ferran's words of advice so low on downforce, but you know, he really did master what he had underneath him.
Yeah, certainly did, and I think that is going to be pretty safe, I'd like to say, to get in the top 9. Obviously, still got a lot of people to go, but we've had a lot of the big hitters go already, and it seems to be quite scattered, actually, which I'm surprised about in terms of, I'd thought the further back we go, the higher up people are going to be, but it's not quite worked out like that. Now, whether that's due to wind speed or the different setups from everyone else, we'll see.
Looks like Flavio Briatore perhaps down in the garage congratulating Alonso. Of course, a major figure in Alonso's Formula One career back in his Renault days. There is Eric Boulier, McLaren racing director, also there to congratulate him. We have got out on track at the moment Spencer Piggott winding up for his qualifying effort, but it looks like we're going to hear soon from the man that all the eyes are on at the Speedway this year.